Good morning, students. Let us discuss the next part of the lesson, establishment of the British Empire in India. Already we have discussed the British East India Company came to India for trade. Later, slowly they started establishing their rule in our country. The interference of Britishers improved, and slowly they started conquering the kingdoms in our country. So, misuse of the company's power. So, the Indian rulers soon found that the burden of giving gifts to the English East India Company and bearing the expenses of its army was becoming very heavy. So, already we discussed in the previous class the Muzaffar Jang have given so many gifts to the Britishers. He was handed over some territories and he paid 50,000 rupees to company, 50,000 to East French troops, and 20 lakhs and a jagir worth of 1 lakh per year to Dupleix in return of help. Okay, so like that. So later they realized that that was very burden to the kings. So they were also troubled by many other activities of the company. So some Indian rulers exempted. Exempted means given freedom or subsidy the company from paying taxes on many of the goods it purchased from their kingdoms. So they paid very less taxes on the goods. So, however, people began taking advantage of these concessions. So, those kings were given concession to British East India Company or Britishers, but that concessions were used by other people also. For example, employees of the company and soldiers of the company, they are also used these concessions. So they are also having their own private trading business. So while purchasing the goods from these kings, those were shown in the account of Britishers. Like that, they got the concessions. They escaped paying the taxes. Okay, like that they misused that power, and because of that most of the employees of the British company and soldiers of the British company became rich, and uh, they returned home wealthy. Okay, many Indian traders and Seths helped the company in its trade. They too showed their goods as belonging to the company to escape paying taxes. So, all traders, employees of the British company, and soldiers were also used these concessions. That's why the taxes collection was reduced. So, thus, there was much looting and swindling taking place in the kingdoms under the company. So, because of power, the Britishers forced craftsmen to sell their goods at lower prices, and even companies collected more taxes from the people from the areas which are gifted by the kingdoms to them. Okay, when rulers protested against such practices, the English fought against them, against the kings. They even went to the extent of dethroning the kings and anointing successors who would be only too willing to remove any obstacles in the way of their trade. So like that, slowly the company increased their power in the different territories, and they misused those powers also. Okay, next, the English imposed their rule. So gradually the English gradually began to feel that they could make fuller and freer use of India for trade if they themselves ruled the country. Previously, they helped different kings to win on others. In return, they got some concessions, but now they decided to rule themselves directly. Okay, so that's why they started removing the Nawabs and Rajas and started ruling themselves. Previously, they helped to Nawabs and Rajas to win on others, but now these people only started removing the Rajas and Nawabs, and they started ruling themselves. In 1757 CE, the English defeated Sirajuddaulah, the Nawab of Bengal. First, they removed or defeated Wanandi Sirajuddaulah, the Nawab of Bengal, at a place called Plassey, and established their rule over Bengal. They occupied the Bengal first. The Battle of Plassey is the important event in the history of the India. After that, the English started conquering many other kingdoms of India, big and small. Okay, so like that they started their ruling throughout the India. The English East India Company also forced the Nizam of Hyderabad. So previously, Hyderabad and Rayalaseema and some other parts of the Tamil Nadu was ruled by Nizam. So the English East India Company also forced the Nizam of Hyderabad to hand over the coastal Andhra Pradesh districts like Krishna, East Godavari, West Godavari, Srikakulam, Vijayanagaram, Prakasham, Visakhapatnam and Guntur. So those were called at the time Northern Sarkars. So between the years of 1765, 1769. So those were under the Madras province at the time. So they asked, the Britishers asked to hand over those areas to them. In return, the English agreed to maintain an army contingent for the use of the Nizam. So, but in fact, this army was used more to control the Nizam rather than to help him. So many Rajas and Nawabs understood. So the British plot and fought hard against them. So including Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Maratha Sardar Mahadaji Shinde, Nane Padmanabhais and others, but their kingdoms were small. So those were unable to unite, and even those were unable to fight against the Britishers. Why? Because those kingdoms were less. One by one they lost them to the English. Those were also defeated by Britishers. Among those at the time, General Robert Clive, Warren Hastings and Lord Wellesley were the governors of the Britishers. So those were established British control in our India. Okay, slowly large parts of India came under the direct rule of the English. So in many places the Rajas and Nawabs continued to rule, but they were under the sovereignty of the English. So most of the areas were conquered by the Britishers, but even though they allowed Rajas and Nawabs continued to rule under the crown of Britishers. Okay, so in return they have to pay some taxes to the Britishers. And English officials known as the residents would be assigned to stay in the courts of these kings or Nawabs, so that the British government could keep an eye on how they ran their kingdoms. So they allowed Rajas and Nawabs to rule. They continued to rule the kingdoms, but they appointed some British officials to observe that areas, to administration of the kingdoms. Okay, next. So here you can observe that how the Britishers occupied conquered Indian kingdoms. So at the time of 1770 AD, so areas under the British, so here the yellow color places were occupied the Britishers only in near Bengal and some other places. Okay, and here Andhra Pradesh, in Mysore, some areas in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So remaining areas are areas not under the British rule. At what time? At the time of 1717 AD. Later, after some 60 years, about 1830, so that was increased. Areas under the British rule was increased. So almost 40% of the India was occupied by Britishers. Next, in the year of 1857, almost 60 to 70% of Indian areas or 90% areas under the British rule. So here Hyderabad was also under the British rule, but they ruled this area with the help of Nizam. Either Mysore also under them. Okay, so like that they conquered more areas by 1857. Okay, next. Discontent with the English rule. So people were not happy with the English rule. So many people hesitated against them. The English had to fight with many kings and Nawabs to establish their rule. Okay, so they constantly faced resistance from the people of India. So the people of India revolted against the Britishers slowly. They understood and revolted against them. So first, the royal families. The royal families means the people who ruled some areas in our country. So those were removed by Britishers. Rajas, Nawabs, removed by Britishers. First, the royal families resisted them because the England would anoint or remove rulers as and when it suited their purposes. Next, farmers and land owners resisted Britishers because English imposed very high taxes and they collected taxes very strictly. So because of that, farmers and land owners also fought against the Britishers. Next, tribal people also offered resistance because they implemented new forest laws. Okay, the new rules and laws that the English began implementing in their areas. As a result, many tribal people lost their rights over jungles and lands. So that's why they revolted against the Britishers. Many Hindus and Muslims feared that the English would destroy their religions and convert them to Christianity. So before the Britishers there was no Christianity in India actually. So, along with the Britishers, the Christian priests entered, came to India, and they established the churches in different places. So, even the Hindus and Muslims also feared that may all the people may convert into Christianity. Next, the English faced their toughest battle in 1857 when for a few months their rule was uprooted over almost the entire northern India region. Okay, so one revolt started in the year 1857 by the soldiers. So this revolt was started by Indian Sipahis or soldiers, okay, who were soon joined by royal families with the revolt and landowners, farmers, tribal people, and craftsmen. First, that revolt was started by soldiers or Sipahis, but later all the people who are opposing the rule of Britishers were joined with them, like royal families, landowners, farmers, tribal people, and craft persons also joined. The royal families like Nana Sahib, the adopted son of the Peishwa, Tantia Tope, his general, the Begum of Awadh, and Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, and along with them Hindus and Muslims also fought together against their common enemy. Who was the common enemy? The Britishers were the common enemy of these people. Okay, so we'll discuss about the revolt of soldiers. The revolt of 1857. Okay, where it is happened place the military cantonment at Meerut, where the British army had camped. Okay, so date Sunday, May 10, 1857. So on the day May 10, 1857, almost at the time of evening, the sun was about to set when the Indian soldiers began firing their guns on their English officers. They started firing against the British officers. There were the same soldiers. These were the same soldiers who had helped the English to conquer the kingdoms of India. So even Indian citizens were also appointed in as soldiers in British army. So those were helped Britishers to conquer the different places in India. So the same soldiers were now started fighting against the British army. So they were now fed up with the behavior of the English. So they were not getting their salaries on time. And another one is those were not treated with respect in the British army. So British army had more respect at the time when you compare with the Indian soldiers. So because of their discontent, so they were not get salaries in time, even they don't have a respect. That's why on top of this, the Sipahis suspected that the cartridges for their new guns or rifles were coated with cow and pig fat to keep them dry. So in addition to these two discontents, so another one is, so at the time the Britishers were introduced some cartridges, means bullets, so which are coated with pig and cow fat. So already you know that cow is the holy animal to the Hindus, and the Muslims hate the pig. So they used the fat of these animals to dry up the keep the rifles bullets dry. So they felt that their religious faith was being violated. So based on this suspicion, a similar upspring had occurred at Barakpur near Calcutta in March 1857. So the sense of discontent at Meerut was widespread, and on this day the soldiers opened fire on their English officers. The rebellious soldiers marched towards Delhi that very night. Actually, that was the first national movement in our India. So, Sepoy revolt was the first national movement in India. Okay, next. So, what they have to do? So, loading the gun. So, here given pictures already you know. So, this is the cartridge which is having bullet and powder to fill in the gun. First of all, the soldiers was supposed to tear open the paper case with his teeth. So this was coated with the animal fat. Okay, those were suspected that that fat belonged to cow and pig. So he would pour the gun powder into the rifle along with the bullet. They should pour some powder also. So he would then ram the bullet wrapped in paper into the rifle. So like that they filled bullets in the rifle. Next. So news of the Sipahi revolt or soldiers revolt spread like wildfire in Meerut. A wave of people came from the bazaar and began attacking the banglas of the English. Even all other normal people also joined with them. They came out from their houses and they attacked on the bungalows of buildings of the English. Policemen joined the mobs, and before long the bungalows and offices of the English were set on fire. Many English people were killed in that moment. So many English soldiers, English people were killed. So you can see here so many people marched and towards the Delhi. By daybreak, the Sepoys of Meerut had crossed the Yamuna and reached Delhi. They entered the Lal Killa, where Badshah Bahadur Shah Jafar of the Mughal dynasty was imprisoned by the English. So they declared him their Badshah and persuaded him to reject the sovereignty of the British. So drive out of the English and bring back Mughal rule was the clarion call of the rebels. So actually at the time people don't have much idea about the democracy. So that's why the people who revolted against the Britishers at the time, so they want to re-establish the rule of Badshah of Mughal. Okay, so that's why the soldiers marched towards the Delhi and they want to establish the Bahadur Shah Jafar of the Mughal dynasty. Okay, so like that people of India revolted against the Britishers in different places by different people. So even so many people joined with others to fight against the Britishers to get the freedom. So these revolts showed the path to the national movement in India. So later national movement started against the Britishers to get freedom from them. Okay, so remaining part of the lesson we'll discuss tomorrow. So write your own notes. Thank you.